All this week, we've been hearing from Counseled inside our school with Christine Pinawadich. This is the wrap up now. What are some of the big takeaways that you got from reporting and working on this series?
I think in general, what I heard from the counselors that I spoke to is that things seem to be better this year than they were last year. Of course, that's when the kids were coming back to in-person school after a couple of years of learning outside of the classroom. I think what surprised me was one, a lot of these students are continuing to deal with anxiety, depression. So yeah, big issues there. Also, what surprised me, the youngest kids at the elementary level, they're dealing with a lot, with grief if they've lost someone. I was very surprised and intrigued to be able to speak to some of these young kids about some really big issues and big feelings. Also, to learn that there are suicide prevention posters in the 4th and 5th grade bathrooms at Sitten Elementary.
I wish that was not necessary, but apparently it is.
Of course, and it's got the suicide prevention hotline, 988. The counselor there told me that there have been students who have talked about self-harm at the middle school level. These kids are under a lot of pressure too. You're transitioning from being a kid to a teenager. One 13-year-old told me that they felt a lot of pressure, feeling like if they messed something up, then it would totally impact the rest of their life. So those are some of the takeaways and things that surprised me, I think, while I was sitting down with these students and counselors and talking to them about what they were dealing with. But I was also inspired, right? Inspired by these kids and teens who were remaining so positive, even though they were feeling so anxious or maybe so depressed about certain things, and inspired by these counselors who are really helping these kids in the ways that they can, even if sometimes they're feeling, like they need more help, or they're just kind of working to make sure these kids are feeling okay. But here are some of the poignant thoughts that some of these counselors had to say to wrap things up.
There's never enough of us. We are very fortunate to have a mental health provider that comes in once a week that does therapy with kids, but we don't have a social worker, so that means that our counseling staff does all of the social work for our school.
I think we're struggling as a community here in Portland, in our Tri-County area. We're struggling as a state and we're struggling as a nation to provide care, especially for children who are struggling with their mental health.
That would be my wish for the future, is getting students the supports they need fully in school and outside of school.
Anytime we do stories like these, we get feedback from folks because it touches you out in the audience. And Christine, I know you've been seeing some. What are people telling you?
Well, we've been talking to people on social media, and we've been hearing back from some folks. On Instagram, one person says locking kids out of schools for 2 years has damaged their ability to socialize in a healthy way. The addiction to social media and constant attention has damaged them. Another person saying, my guess is long-term mental health of children needs to be fixed by helping parents' mental health. An interesting concept there. On Facebook, Karen Barberin says mental health is terrible. After my child was kept out of a classroom for a year, she completely stopped talking, lost ability to maintain friendships, and lost years of social development. She's still struggling socially despite a ton of effort on our part to help. So very obviously, very impactful on a lot of these parents and kids, and still, according to counselors and mental health professionals, a lot of work to be done in the mental health sphere in school districts and really across the state, Pat.
Well, it's great reporting. Thanks so much for highlighting this, Christine. By the way, if you missed any of Christine's segments this week on mental health in schools, no problem. We got you covered. You can watch all of them right now on our streaming service on Roku and Amazon Fire. It's called KGW+. They're also available on the KGW YouTube channel and KGW.com.